severe famine struck the land after 7 years of plenty, and Jacob's family in Canaan was starving. The famine was severe throughout the region, and Jacob knew his family would not survive without grain.
My sons, we must act quickly, or we will all perish. I have heard there is grain in Egypt. Go down to Egypt and buy grain for us, that we may live and not die.
But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob did not send with his brothers, for he said, lest perhaps harm come to him. So the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Little did they know that this journey would lead them to a reunion beyond their imagination, and that God's plan was unfolding even in their desperation. The sons of Israel came to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was severe in the land of Canaan. They entered the presence of Joseph, the governor of all Egypt, not knowing they stood before their own brother. Joseph was governor over the land, and he it was who sold to all the people of the earth. When Joseph's brothers came, they bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he made himself strange to them. But they did not recognize him, for he was but a youth when they sold him, and now he appeared as an Egyptian ruler. And Joseph spoke roughly to them, saying, "Where do you come from?"
"From the land of Canaan to buy food, my lord."
Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed about them, and he said to them, "You are spies."
"No, my lord, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's sons, we are honest men."
"No, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land."
"We, your servants, are 12 brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more."
At the mention of his father and Benjamin, Joseph's heart was moved, but he steeled himself for what he must do to test them. "Send one of you, and let him bring your brother, while the rest of you are kept in prison, that your words may be tested." And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph said to them, "Do this and live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay confined to your prison house. But you go and carry grain for the famine of your houses. And bring your youngest brother to me, so your words will be verified, and you shall not die." So they did so, and Joseph chose Simeon and bound him before their eyes. The brothers spoke to one another, not knowing that Joseph understood them, for there was an interpreter between them.
"We are truly guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us. And we would not hear, therefore this distress has come upon us."
Joseph turned away from them and wept. Then he returned to them and talked with them. Then Joseph gave a command to fill their sacks with grain, to restore every man's money to his sack, and to give them provisions for the journey. Thus he did for them, and they departed from Egypt with heavy hearts, knowing they must return with Benjamin. When they came to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them.
The man who is lord of the land spoke roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country.
And the man, the lord of the country, said to us, "By this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me, take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother to me. Then I will know that you are not spies, but that you are honest men."
My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If some calamity should befall him along the way in which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave.
As the famine continued to ravage the land, Jacob's family faced starvation, and the grain they had purchased was nearly gone.
Take your brother Benjamin and arise, go back to the man. And may God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may release your other brother and Benjamin.
So the men took Benjamin and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, his heart was deeply moved, for this was his only full brother. Take these men to my house and prepare a feast, for these men will dine with me at noon. Joseph made haste, for his heart yearned for his brother, and he sought somewhere to weep. And he entered his chamber and wept there. Put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack, and they tore their clothes in despair.
O my lord, let your servant remain instead of the lad as a slave to my lord, and let the lad go up with his brothers. For how shall I go up to my father if the lad is not with me, lest perhaps I see the evil that would come upon my father?
Make everyone go out from me. So no one stood with him, while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. I am Joseph. Does my father still live? But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. Please come near to me. I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. And he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. And after that, his brothers talked with him. Go up to my father and say to him, your son Joseph says, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry. When Jacob arrived in Egypt, Joseph fell on his father's neck and wept on his neck a good while.
Now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive.
So Joseph settled his father and his brothers in Egypt, and gave them a possession in the land of Goshen. Through forgiveness and God's sovereign plan, a broken family was restored, and countless lives were saved from famine. Joseph's journey, though filled with pain and betrayal, had always been part of God's perfect plan to save his family and many others. What was meant for evil, God turned for good. And so, through the darkness of betrayal and the depths of suffering, God's perfect plan was revealed. What my brothers intended for evil, God intended for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Through forgiveness, a broken family was healed. Through suffering, a nation was saved. Through one man's faithfulness, God's promise was fulfilled. My story reminds us that no matter how dark our circumstances, God is writing a story of redemption. His plans are always for our good and His glory.